Good morning. I'd like to call the meeting in Livingston County Industrial Development Agency to order. I'm going to ask for a motion to move the agenda for unfinished business, and it will be the Counter Road parcel transfer of ownership via the quitclaim deed to the Sewer and Water Authority. Can I get that motion? So, second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We jumping on it. So thanks, Gary. We've got Sarah from the Water and Sewer Authority here with us. If you rock ahead in your packet, you should have a map there that shows a very small sliver of a parcel. This is on Connor Road. It's just off of Main Street. It was part of the former Mount Morris Industrial Park. The bulk of the park was sold to Myron Brady, I would say probably 10 years ago, 10, 11 years ago, somewhere in there. But there are two parcels that were retained by the Livingston County IDA. The one in blue and the one kind of straight across the street that's more of a square. The square one is environmentally contaminated. We've got monitoring wells on that. I can give you a brief update. We looked in there. There's unfortunately still activity in those wells that don't or can't declare it a clean site yet. But that's not the one I'm interested in today. The one I'm interested in is that sliver. That butts up against the Greenway, the Mount Morris Greenway Trail. So what we've worked out, we've had a conversation with the Livingston County Water and Sewer Authority. You might say, if you're talking about the Greenway and Water and Sewer Authority, what's the deal? Water and Sewer Authority is looking to take water into Pine Tavern, which is that goofy five corners over on the corner of Lester before you leave the county and head toward Perry. There is a spot that Letchworth State Park owns that Gary calls the vault, so I call the vault, which is a piece of property that basically is a water containment. They have a water containment vault on that property. That could be beneficial to Water and Sewer Authority to get that water to Pine Tavern. Water and Sewer Authority has asked for this parcel of land from us so that they can swap it with Parks for the vault property. Parks will be the one that ends up with this in the long run, which is a great win for us. It's right along the Greenway. That's why they want it. It would be good for that. And Water and Sewer Authority gets the property that they need to help put water out to Pine Tavern. Everybody kind of, as I see it, it's a win-win-win straight across the board. So what we'd be looking to do, it's 0.66 acres. Honestly, we've talked about it historically or in the past, and there's really nothing we can do with it. It has no benefit. It's wooded. I'd like to provide this to Water and Sewer Authority with, I guess, $1 compensation to be able to transfer title via quitclaim deed, which in turn would ensue Water and Sewer Authority to transfer it to New York State Parks for a swap with the vault. I don't know if I can say anything more about it. You were in one of the meetings. Any other questions? Did I get that across? It's a three-way thing that we got going on here. So a few moving parts, but eventually everybody ends up with the right parcels.
The water in that cistern vault, whatever you want to call it, comes from the village of Perry now. That'll stop. Then it'll come from Hemlock Lake. It'll come up Jones Bridge Road or the Perry Road, one or the other, the Pine Tavern, and it'll go across the Gibsonville Road, then it'll go up Crancy Road to the end of this vault. And then that also will supply everything on this side of the park.
Yeah, there is no water. There's no public water at Pine Tavern and that side of Lester at this point. So this is all a new install. It's a good thing. Water and Sewer Authority's got a huge project in front of them to do this. They're working with Rich White as we speak, the supervisor in Lester. It all seems like a very good scenario to me to get everything aligned so that it works and kind of accomplishes a goal for us, which was to divest this property to Parks, which eventually I think was a great win. So what we'd be looking for today is authorization to transfer ownership via quitclaim deed. You'd be authorizing me to be able to sign the documents, and we would turn that over to the Water and Sewer Authority. In turn, they've already negotiated this out with Parks. There's really nothing left to talk about. It's free.
Have I got a motion? Second? All in favor?
Aye. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
There's special taxes on that parcel, about $9 a year. So,
I'll make sure, Jason is aware. Thanks so much.
Get it turned over to the state of New York fast.
tell you can cut a check to me for the $9.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Sarah.
Okay, we're gonna get back to the communications. Chrissy, what we did was we moved the order there to take care of that Honor Road parcel there. A tradable slip, there's a map in your packet there.
Okay.
Go over to the water authority, then on to the DEC.
Thank you.
Any communications?
Don't have any communications, no?
Okay, the minutes have been pre-distributed. If there's no corrections or additions, I entertain a motion to approve.
I'll read it.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you.
Financial statement.
Got the financials behind you there. I think I told you last meeting, we're trying to find a nice usable format, so I like this one. It'll give you the June highlights, or the monthly activity, I guess, in the first column, the year-to-date activity in the next one, our budget in the third column, and then what % of the budget we are at. Wasn't a lot of activity for IDA, so you can see we had some minimal income with interest. Our year-to-date actual is cruising along, as well as against the full year budget, which is really kind of a moving target, but we thought it would be good just to see what activity we thought we were going to get and where we are at. Operating expenses, again, kind of minimally. We didn't do a whole lot yet with IDA, so some marketing expenses, some travel expenses, dues and subscriptions, pretty normal, all straightforward. We had some expense with Gateway, with CPL doing some design work up there for us, some legal fees, our utilities at Livingston Correctional Facility. And so we took a loss in the month. We're still positive on the year. And we're just a slightly lost the budget. Pretty straightforward. First question, do you like the format?
I do.
Okay.
This is simple.
We keep it going then.
How about 5101? Are we gonna get that off before next year's budget?
5101.
Fuel commerce file.
Yep, actually, I got an update on that for you at the end of the meeting.
Okay. Give the board a few minutes to scan this. If they got any questions, feel free to come forth.
Confused. How does the total for operating add up to 7,300 when it's only? It's not the total of those 4 lines.
That's interesting, because I just wrote, where's the $5,000 that was cut? So I think that's it. I think that 5,000 that I'm looking for is adding into the number, but I don't know why it's not showing here.
Oh, one line item.
IDA coming LCDC, their $5,000 contribution to the 4th IDEA placemaking campaign in June, and you'll see it hit LCDC on our financials.
Where would it have hit
It
ours?
should have hit marketing 6,800.
Didn't Jody create a line item for that?
Yeah, so maybe for some reason that, oh, she created a set, like a
Yeah.
sub-account of marketing, so
Yeah.
perhaps it's just not expanded.
It's a placemaking campaign line item.
Okay. So that maybe it's just a hidden row, but it is totaling.
I didn't see what
That would be the difference in the number.
whole book was
Mhm.
provided, so if it's hidden, we should expand it so we can see. Good catch, Christie. Yeah, it didn't show me. 2, 5, 4, 5. Yeah, it looks like the 34 is short as well. So the next column of the year-to-date actual doesn't look like it foots either.
Those are too many numbers for me now.
I just did the first number, but, let's table this and figure that out. I'm not sure why that's not showing.
Yeah,
Apparently,
you
we're
just
looking at
email
the
us?
6,800 number at the market.
Yeah, if it's not expanded, that's easy. I'm not sure why it wasn't, but, let's table this until we get it figured out. Yeah, I don't know.
I bet that's what happened.
We're pulling this from QuickBooks into Excel. So that's how I'm able to get all these columns, because QuickBooks won't print them all for me, or at least I haven't figured out how to do that yet. So if something's not translating, that would be my only.
In QuickBooks, you can ask for a report with those specific things and it should draw it.
I can get, well, okay, that'd be perfect, because what I can get is the month to date, the year to date, but I can't get anything else.
Yeah,
So I can only get 2 columns.
it would be a special, you have to create. But
Need more than I got, but more horsepower than I can put. Table this, let's get you a new one out. Okay.
thanks.
Okay, unfinished business, oil policy.
We've been updating the FOIL policy, and other policies as well that we're looking to, just make sure that we're in compliance with any ABO regulatory type things. Ironically, we did get a FOIL request on June 12th for solar stuff. It's not the first one we've got, but, so what this does is this will go in our policy manual. You'll see it every year, sort of annually when we do our updates and any changes and whatnot. We do reserve the right to change these throughout the year. So if you want to just go through it kind of quick, the FOIL policy, we do have, they can come in through info@GrowLivCo. That is kind of how they'll contact us. We did also include the Livingston County site so they can get to us through the government website for a FOIL request. The director is the public information officer, so basically all FOIL requests will come to me first. We can disperse from there. You have to respond within 5 days of a FOIL request to at least acknowledge that you got it, and then you have 30 days to respond fully with the material. You can't charge for certain things, but you can charge for other things. So like copies and whatnot, you can put a fee together. Typically, well, the last FOIL I got basically asked for the fees up front. That was their request. I don't know whether you have to identify fees before you fulfill the request or not.
It's in those section
8. Yeah, you have to let them know up front, I guess, with my question. You know the answer to that? You have to let them know if you're gonna charge them something?
That I have to look into, but I believe that it doesn't matter if you ask them upfront or tell them upfront, but I can verify.
Okay, if they make the request, you should.
Letter E says the agency shall inform a person.
There we go. I thought we talked about it. Yeah, you got it.
it's more than 2 hours.
Yeah, so, but basically the one that I saw here were copies, and nowadays what I saw with the last one is they all want electronic. So I responded that the same thing that they can get electronically is available on our website already. It's standing out there. So if they want it, they can download it. It's pretty easy to do. Nonetheless, there's time involved with these, but we have to add a FOIL policy. This is what we've got.
We haven't had one, but we've been working under the counts.
We've been working under the counts. This would put it in our own policy book.
But this will make it even better. And under review.
Yeah, we did throw it by you guys.
But all those records are stored up on Murray Hill, right? Remember.
Depends. If we've sent them to records management, the hard copies are on Murray Hill. We have to recall them, which only takes a day or two. If it's an active project, we have a lot of what they need electronically already. The solar stuff is so new, we've got most of it already.
So there's solar farm that's been built and one that's in the process, or one that's.
Depends. So a FOIL will specify. Right now, what they want is anything from, I think, 20 to 25 that the IDA had involvement with. So there's only a couple of them. And they just want the pilot schedule,
Okay.
which again is out there. We've got a pilot on it. It's on our website. ABO makes us post all this stuff. I think it's just that these are law firms that are doing it so that they can get sort of a market analysis of what people are getting on pilots. They just don't want to do work. So, quite honestly, they're saying, send it to me in a nice neat package.
We've also reorganized the way that people can go out and look at those, put on solar stuff for apps, so it makes it much easier when Bill sends out the reply to the FOIA where to find stuff.
The project number is by date, so they can pick and choose. It's 2401 and then the year that it was done. So if they don't want something from 2019 and say 2401-19, they can surpass that. So this just adopts it, puts it in our policy manual, and allows us to operate under our own as opposed to the county. Which
You need an approval.
we
I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay, motion made and seconded, all in favor?
fun stuff. Last meeting, I think, was at the end of May. We did a special meeting. We talked about the pilot for New York Dansville One LLC. We talked about, instead of making this pilot, we wanted to try and put it into a host community agreement. We put Underberg on that task. You can't do it that way. The host community agreement is, and I forget, Erica had a really great way to phrase it, but it was essentially kind of a way to a workaround for the pilot where it would really take us outside of our authority to be. We have the authority to put a pilot in place. We don't necessarily have the authority to create an HCA. That's the best way I can describe it. The host community agreement's nice. The municipalities like it because it's outside of the taxing revenue that it's pretty specific as to what you can use it towards. So they like host community agreements because it kind of creates to the general fund. Again, we don't have the authority to do that, so we have to put it in a pilot. This probably should have an approval, just to acknowledge that we're doing a pilot as opposed to an HCA. You think, Leanne?
Yes.
Yeah. So I just wanted to clarify that. We approved it for an HCA, but that's not going to be the case. It has to be approved in the form of a pilot. So the communities are going to get exactly what they would have gotten under the HCA. They're just going to get it as tax revenue, which is where our authority lies. Did I get through that right?
Yes.
Any questions on this? Okay, entertain a motion. Pilot for Dansville One, get the motion. Second,
I'll second.
all in favor? Carry.
Compton Bank approached us, asked us if we'd like them to do an assessment kind of of our current banking needs. And I'll look at Maureen. She was involved in the meeting and kind of brought this to our attention when they knocked on her door. They analyzed what we had. They came back with a pretty nice system, some of which will involve us being able to do our deposits right from our desk with remote capture. A savings account tied to checking, which is something that we've talked about here, is trying to maximize the interest for some of our holdings. Online system is, allows authorization, all good, as same as what we have now, but nothing less, I guess. We're with 5-Star now exclusively. They pretty much got everything. We'll be looking to change this over exclusively to Tompkins. Did I miss anything? There's some things that they did pitch to us that I'm not really necessarily looking at right now. Positive pay is one that would get you a view of the checks that are set for clearing that day. You would authorize whether or not you want them to clear. We don't write that many checks that would be necessary. It's a fraud prevention control measure. Which
ACH transactions, because that's also in positive pay and it's very helpful to be able to see those go through.
that actually, ACH was something that they hit up for us quite a bit because we don't do a lot of ACH right now. My concern, which they were able to alleviate, was the authorization levels. Who can initiate the ACH? Lexi can initiate the ACH and then Maureen and I have to approve it. So they really kind of helped me get more comfortable with that as opposed to somebody being able to initiate it by themselves and not have any oversight. That tied to positive pay we didn't discuss much. I know positive pay from a little bit, but are you saying that you would recommend both together, the ACH capability and positive pay?
I mean, since you don't have a
It's not
lot of
transactions.
transactions, I wouldn't say, do you see it on a monthly basis though? Like, you can cross-reference, right?
With our
I mean,
statements?
we personally use positive pay, but, and I love the satisfaction of knowing what's going out. But I have 15 a day, 20 a day, you know,
We
like.
got that. I
Like
think,
that,
get
like,
back.
yeah.
In
As long
IDA,
as
you
you
probably
feel
have closer.
comfortable with the control of it, I don't think that you necessarily
We've
need
got
the
no
positive
payroll.
pay.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, I felt comfortable without it,
Mhm.
which we don't have it now, and we've
Right.
been good. But the ACH piece, I think, was interesting. A lot of folks are taking payment that way, and as long as we have the authorizations to be able to do it,
Mhm.
so that it can't be initiated and cleared by itself. We'd be looking to swap this out. 5-star, quite honestly, just hasn't done a lot for us. I think Lexi waited about a half hour, 45 minutes in the drive-through line the other day, so this would alleviate having to run to the bank. The remote capture would allow us to put the checks in right from the counter at our office.
The county's still doing pretty much 100% with the 5-star.
No, not 100%. They do a lot with Tompkins. They do a lot with Key, with their state contacts, and then some 5-star. I don't know about community, whether they're there.
I'm not opposed, I would just ask them because I just got a notice that they're changing their name over again.
They did talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm not sure who bought them out now again this time, but
Is it because they're separating from Gallagher?
Yes.
the insurance
Yeah.
piece,
Yeah, they did talk about that.
Yeah. so just ask about that and the fee structure, just make sure that.
Everything looked good when they ran the analysis. We don't pay a lot of fees now. We wouldn't pay a lot then. It's basically compensating balances, which offset that. So I think we're in good shape. I like the ability for us not to have to essentially leave the office and be able to do our banking right from the seat.
What's happening more and more.
Yeah.
And the local clearinghouse is right in Perry. It's easy to get things, what you need to find out, you can find it out.
The system that they've got 2.8 on savings, which they drew into their proposal. We don't do a lot of movement of funds between savings and checking. This would allow us to do that and maximize the interest. So if it's sitting there, why aren't we doing that? So just kind of a thought to be able to use the ACH origination and remote deposit. Those were the two things I picked up that would be very helpful. Did I miss something?
Just a lot of conveniences on the administrative side, everything from the physical location of the branch to the remote deposit. And with 5-star, we are completely separate on all entities, separate logins for everything. We have to actually cut checks from one entity to another. With this, we're gonna have one login where we could transfer money from IDA to LCDC or tourism to LCDC. And we have a fair amount of that, these interagency contracts that we're actually physically cutting checks for right now. So just, that kind of convenience and efficiencies.
So for purposes of the minutes, what we'd be looking for would be authorization to change our banking relationship to Tompkins. We would have to put them on our annual designation form, which right now just says 5-star, so we would be modifying that. We would also be assigning signers. So today, I think one of our 5-star accounts might have Phil Brooks on it, but we'll have to move it from, it'd be you and I, Gary, on our IDA accounts. We'll do this again in
And
LCDC.
that needs to be changed on number 10, just as the two of us.
I think we would want the chairman as well.
Okay,
We always had that
so then
before,
we'll
so,
move,
the
make
min-
it with
yeah,
that
the minutes would
amendment.
reflect that.
Board understand what we're doing? Make a motion to proceed with this policy.
So
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks. I think it came to real for me when I sat in the 5-star office. They said, "This is a nice office." The lady said, "Oh, really? Thanks." I said, "It was mine." Thank you so much. Okay, Gorilla. So we are proceeding well with Gorilla. Well, thanks, Gary, for attending the public hearing with me. Got two action items for you today, the review and approval of the minutes from the public hearing. There were none. We did have, I think, 4 attendees, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nobody had comments for the record. Eric, I think it's Eric, no, not Eric. Yeah, the other Eric, Eric Spanbauer is the new business manager for the Avon Central School. He just had some questions, so he didn't want to put anything on the record. He supports the project, but he said, can I just see how this lines up so that I can plan it out? Yep, we traded some documents after the meeting and all was good. So there are no minutes for the records. In terms of comments, this was it. Gary was there. We sat for a half an hour
And the other member was from the planning board.
yeah, we had one from Eric Cooper's actually with MRP, but he works on behalf of the planning.
Planning,
So
he's from the engineering company. They weren't comments, so really what they're looking for. You bring another 100 jobs on, and especially in school. I mean, what families might move into the area, what the hell that would enhance Avon School, if you could.
Eric Spanbauer is new. I've never met him before, so it was great to actually meet him. What we'd like to do with our school districts, when we have pilots, they go out. When do you guys put the estimates out? In February?
Depends on which jurisdiction. For schools?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, February, we might start meeting with the business managers face to face so that we can sit and say, here are your pilots, here's what's coming up, this is in year 1, this is in year 10, this one's falling off next year, so on. That I think was some of the question that Eric had, because Gorilla's coming off of their initial pilot that started in 2006. So he's like, how's that gonna work? Well, that one's expiring and a new one's coming on top of it. So it was naturally kind of weird for him to ask. It wasn't weird for him. He wanted to know where the numbers were going to shake out. Does this start the old one all over again? No, it starts a new one on 7. Good to meet him, and I'm glad we do get business managers at these hearings, which is good. So I'd be looking for the approval of the minutes from that public hearing.
Entertain that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thanks. The next one is the authorizing resolution for Gorilla America, New York. This would actually authorize the project. What we're looking at with this is a 20-year pilot, which is a deviation from our typical 10-year pilot structure. 20 years is what we went to in order to be more competitive against the other opportunity that they had with Ames, Iowa. I ran the numbers on the cost benefit, and it's enormous. What our software kicked out for a local benefit over 20 years, a local and state benefit over 20 years is almost $400 million based on what they put out in payroll and ancillary kind of fallout. So a pilot of this nature is actually, a pretty good incentive for us to be able to offer it. Definitely gets us down the line. The other is the sales tax incentive. So sales tax exemptions on all construction materials, furniture, fixtures, equipment associated with the build out, and that number was, I want to say 3.4 million.
3.9.
3.9 million, I'm sorry. So yes, 3.9 million, almost 4. I don't know if that's going to take it all. There is some manufacturing equipment, which is already tax exempt. That's always sort of the variable with these, is that you're never quite sure. They put the cost in there, but it could be exempt on its own. So pretty straightforward. They're not going to use a mortgage. This will get us teed up and ready for the project. They are approaching approval hopefully on the 16th of July. But everything is going along well. There's great support for it in the community, and we're as chomping at the bit to get started. Did I miss anything, Ann?
No, I think that captured it. I just had a question to you regarding the environmental
Yeah.
assessment.
Yep.
And if that was confirmed.
It was. I
Okay.
have a signed copy in my inbox as of yesterday.
Great.
Yep.
Great.
The agency was village on it. Yes. Yep, there you go.
very good project, and, when they first came here, they had the idea that they would service the eastern seaboard. Also, you may see it down the line, they had talked to the sauce plant. They do handle a lot of sauce when it comes in, warehouses, and go down.
Yeah, the warehousing capabilities that they're bringing with this project are gonna be incredible. That's really kind of the reason that the project costs exploded, because of the fact that they included a lot of warehousing and storage, the automated ASRS, automated storage and retrieval system. So that's certainly gonna be part of it. We talked the other day, I'm talking to Brill almost every day. We talked about the rail and the new storage facility that's going over rail. So what they bring in with the Semolina is going to be basically an identical tower to what that blue tower is that you see out there now. There's gonna be more. I think it blue if it were me, but it's gonna be right next to it. It's gonna be a short pasta line, just one for now, but they're building this out for two. And as we saw with the original Gorilla project, they built it out for 4. They put 2 in, and I think they were at 4 within 2 years. So I wouldn't be surprised if that second line came in great. Peter Vars from DME, who we've worked with before, a good engineer. He's on the project. They've gotten him back at things. They have not told me who they've selected as a contractor. They're working through some of the details with who I think their selection is. So, but in any event, they're working ahead.
Any other questions? Take a motion to accept this filing. Second,
I'll second.
favor?
Aye.
We need a roll on this one.
Probably do it.
Yeah.
I vote aye.
Aye.
Christie. Jim.
Aye.
Mary Ellen.
Wonderful. We are making a trip out there this afternoon, 1:30 maybe, to talk about the process for the sales tax exemptions, what they need to file, how they need to report it to us, and all that stuff. So approval is timely. We'll keep our 1:30 with them and get out there and make sure that they know what they need to produce. Carmen still has PTSD with the former sales tax exemption process, so he wants to get in front of this one from last time. Next one up is Greenway Campground. This may sound familiar because it was a few years ago. I think we started this project back in 22 or 23. It took a hiatus. We actually kind of declared it defunct or shelved or whatever you want to call it for a while. We thought it best as we went through it with council to basically restart it as a new project. So that's where we're going with this. Greenway Campground is looking to put in 335 RV sites, 82 tent sites, 56 cabins, small gift shop, splash pad, eventually maybe a pool, pickleball, basketball, all that good stuff on the site of the former Triple Creek Golf Course. It's already owned by Chad Bugman. He's put a couple of cabins up there. If you've been by on 408 out toward the road, just some pre-built stuff. This is really taking place further in. Looking for a public water line to be run out there. We're working with Numday on all of that. And this would kick it off. The inducement here would provide a pilot. That would be a 10-year pilot, which is our standard UTEP. It's not a deviation. It would also provide a sales tax exemption in the amount of
232,560.
Did you find it? Yep, 232,560. Thanks. And potential mortgage recording tax exemption, although as of earlier this week, that's not necessary. So I'm pretty sure that will not be raised.
Okay.
So it's just the sales tax and the pilot. Yeah. I put it on only because we could offer it, but I don't see it being needed. So this is the inducement that says, yes, we accept the application. Yes, we would love to hear what the public has to say about the project. I can tell you last time we didn't have any attendees, the old minutes the other day. But this would go forward and allow me to schedule a public hearing, which I would like to do on August 5th. That would put it before the next meeting so that I could have something for you. Push it ahead if you wanted to. We did go all the way through authorization with the last time. It's approved to move forward.
I think there's been quite a lot of road construction and stuff going on in there too.
What actually held them up for a while was they have to cross the greenway. And believe it or not, to cross the greenway, it's an act of Congress. So it was actually a piece of legislation that they had to get through Albany. It took quite a while. So kind of put things on the back burner. He also put them on the back burner. So I think, you know, the combination of both is why we saw the long delay.
Why is he?
To get in there, and he's, yes, exactly. So the greenway kind of cuts through, it's just off 408, but it cuts through the golf course.
Can you see it from the road there?
Oh, yeah.
From 408, the greenway?
Home.
Yeah.
Roger.
Just look for the yellow gates.
It looks like it's part of the golf course, quite honestly, but yeah, you can see it
Yeah.
if you're looking for it.
Okay.
I just always thought it was access for the maintenance crew for the golf course. But
Well, it's where it comes up off from Mount Morris,
Mhm.
off the old railroad there. But I've been working on another parcel with a person who wants to give the greenway in Fillmore. It's been 4 years, and it's still not done. The attorney fees $47,000. Ouch. To the DEC.
is that Leanne charging that? Is that? There's your piece.
She's the conservancy.
Oh,
I think Bill might have got, did we bring that up the last meeting there?
Yeah.
I bring it up regularly because I'd like to see it go over to small piece, you know, like less than a quarter of a mile.
So your action this morning, if you so choose, would be to approve the inducement resolution for consideration of the financial incentives. And then the second piece of action would be the approval to set the date.
Okay, and entertain a motion for the first part to approve the application.
So,
Second,
Aye.
all in favor? Aye. And I'll just set the public hearing for
I'm gonna put it down for August 5th.
5th.
Yeah, the county news. I leave here, I go up there, it's like 2 weeks away before the first time I can get it in. So with your 10-day notice, you're almost you are into the next month. But that would keep us ahead of, I think the next meeting is the 7th. isn't it?
Yes.
August 5th, 6 o'clock at the village town hall, or is that the town?
Yeah.
Town hall.
Mhm.
You need an approval on to set that? I'll make the motion. All done.
All in favor? Aye.
Carry. Great, thanks. The review and approval of the cooperative agreement for the Dansville Municipal Airport. So I think I may have touched on some of this before with the Dansville Airport. The town was contacted by some of the pilots at the airport. The cranes that LMC is using at the end of the runway were considered a safety hazard by the pilots. It was turned into the FAA. The FAA agreed. The town has been feverishly trying to work to come to some agreement with everybody that appease its folks, but at this point in time, where they're at is really kind of to put a temporary displaced threshold. What that does is it shortens the runway from 3,500 feet to 2,250 feet and allows enough, that shortening would allow enough lift so that these cranes aren't in the hazard area in the airspace. So that they could continue to use them at the heights that they need, and 2,250 feet is actually enough runway to land the planes that are coming in and out of Dansville, which are typically single engine. There's probably a classification of these, but essentially they need 800 feet. So you got plenty of room. The other thing about a displaced threshold is that's only in effect when you land and take off in the direction of the cranes. If you're doing it from the other direction, where the cranes aren't inhibiting the airspace, you have all 3,500 feet. So we're not talking about tearing up asphalt and, making this all dirt or stone or whatever. So the temporary displaced threshold would change the markings, it would change the technology and the lighting so that the pilots knew what to do. Temporary is not cutting it with LMC. They can't continue to operate under a temporary without the uncertainty or with the uncertainty of their future. They have, as of the July 4th holiday, they picked up $250 million in new work. There's backlog. This is a $40 million payroll. There's 400 employees that are working on payroll down there, not at the facility. They're kind of spread out. This is a huge economic impact to Dansville. What the IDA has done, or what I've done, meeting with Larry and continuing conversations with the supervisor from North Dansville, everything to this point seems to have been verbal. It's been back and forth. It's changed. We have nothing to really kind of point to say, but you said, but this was. So what we came up with was something on paper that would memorialize what's being looked at, what's being looked to be done, and who's playing the role. So this is a three-party agreement between the town of North Dansville, LMC, and the IDA for a permanent displaced threshold. This is going to be proposed to the town of North Dansville. This is not approved by them. This would change it from temporary to permanent. It still has to be blessed by the FAA. We've been working with the FAA. We believe that it has traction. But you know, it doesn't have anything until the town supports it and until we can get everybody on the same page. That has not happened as of yet. The biggest piece of this is what it costs to do a permanent displaced threshold. I've heard a number as high as 400,000 to change the markings, to change the technology. When you approach, I think you hit something on your handheld microphone and it turns the runway lights on. That technology needs to be changed and addressed. The lighting, an inspection by the FAA, all of the update to the records so that people know that this is a 2,250-foot runway and not a 3,500-foot runway anymore. I don't think it's going to be 400. I think it's going to be less. This cooperative agreement would say that the IDA and LMC will absorb the costs. LMC has agreed to absorb up to half of those costs. We would like to commit to the other half. This is a retention project all day long. I've got to resolve this so LMC doesn't get forced to using their cranes someplace else, God forbid, out of county where we lose some of this operation. Gary and I have talked about it. We're a little afraid of some of the availability in other communities where we pull from Dansville for them to be able to do this. So I'm behind this 100%. I think it's a long way from getting signatures and being in place, but it's something that starts the process. What I need from this board is a commitment to the funding to help LMC get this done on a permanent basis.
I think it probably will move because it really shows that the town of North Dansville has got no skin in the game other than on the airport. I think that's my opinion.
How busy is that? Like, what is the?
There's some frustration with that. The airport is not busy. That's part of the problem. The glider activity, which it is busy with, takes off from a grass strip. They don't need the runway. The activity that does need the runway, yes, there's some there. I'll say, maybe 3 to 6 a day. Small planes, hobby aircraft. There's nothing coming in that's based on commerce. Folks that are coming in, grab a burger at McDonald's, get back to the plane and go someplace back to home or whatever. This for me, quite honestly, is a win-win-win. It keeps the airport, it keeps the pilots happy. I don't know if I can make them happy. It keeps the airport. They still have it. LMC is the one that I'm really trying to make happy. That works here. Town of North Dansville does not have the funding or the ability to put this through. The ongoing operations, Kirsty, are a legitimate question. They have grant assurances because they've taken FAA money in the past. So there's a clawback. If they were to try and do something with this, the FAA is telling them, you can't even do that. You can't even close it right now because of these assurances. I think there's 8 years left on those. So this permanency is really kind of to get everybody over that hump to be able to say, is this worth it? Right now it's costing the community probably, I saw a number as low as 12. I've seen another number that's high as 75 to keep this airport going annually. town tax base doesn't have that. Actually, the tax base is LLC. Which is
Yeah.
ironic, because they're doing that. So it's a conundrum. And this is a start of a process to put something on paper to say, this is what we need, this is what we're asking for, this is how we're gonna resolve it. I did put a section in. That we would be able to see the bid process and work through it. The town would lead that effort, but as opposed to them throwing anything else on the list, like a new roof on a hangar or things like that, we'd be able to have some input into that process. But this is pretty basic, it's pretty straightforward. Obviously, it would need a blessing of an attorney before anybody signs it. But it's a start and it puts it on paper. These conversations, honestly.
This Luke, the town's attorney, is
No, town attorney is,
not fun.
yeah, no, they actually, I think, but he left, I'm pretty sure it's probably John Vogel.
John Old. And as far as the finances, you know, we sold the solar rights there. It's 353,000. We were intended on keeping that down in that south end of the county. And so, I mean, we can handle that. And the other thing, we're gonna be meeting shortly with the county on that exit 4. There's a possible taking that 40 acres. So that roughly would be $150,000 to $190,000. We picked up 2 years back taxes.
Should be 100 out of pocket, and then the next 100, we actually would be able, it doesn't come due until the following year.
Yeah.
So we'd be able to cover that out of the sale of the property we've got with our prospects.
Couple prospects.
Yeah, I don't need, the overall obligation is 180,000, yes,
Yeah.
yep.
So we're, and you know, if this doesn't, if let's say it's done for 250,000 rather than 400, you know, we're still gonna be all right down there. And remember, LMC's got another place in East Avon. So I mean, it's not just, it's for the whole county. And Allegheny and Staben, and that's where the employees.
The work that they have picked up is infrastructure work, it's bridge work primarily, where they're fabricating the bridge, the steel girders, and is there a word for the undercarriage of a bridge, I guess, the decking. Yeah.
I know, you got there.
Which is coming in by rail. If you've seen some of the beams that they've got out in the yard, they are enormous. And you need a rail to bring them in and you need a crane to get them off. And they could offload these somewhere else and try and drag them in another fashion. It's going to increase their costs. It's going to make them less competitive. It's kind of trickle down. So this is really a reinforcement of their business model, what they bring in terms of economic impact, what the airport maybe doesn't have in terms of economic impact. I think there's a perceived impact of it. I don't necessarily see that. Right now, what I have to do is kind of get behind 400 employees. I can't replace that. I don't know how I would come up with trying to, Gunlock that just went out. Up the street, you do have Bonadent coming in, so there might be some jobs available there, but I don't even want to think about these guys going out of business. And they got a good 5 years worth of work with these 2 new contracts that just been done.
And close to $5 million approved and would be approved. The bids are out there. So, you know,
They've secured the bids. This I-81 job is big for them. And it's right in their wheelhouse. They've got the employment base to do it.
any questions or comments? I take a motion to approve this. Second,
I'll second.
favor?
And
Thank you all. Hopefully I'll keep you as close to this as possible, but this is the start that we're hoping for to really get things dialed in and memorialized on paper.
Okay, review the approval of the request for proposal.
That's
As
good.
for correction.
So Leanne did review our RFP. I wish I had printed out the one thing that you did, that you put at the very end. Did you print?
Oh, I could red line with
Awesome,
everything on it.
awesome. I didn't have that because I put this together beforehand.
Yeah, this is the whole, all of the comments. It was the second attachment.
Yep, okay.
Okay, you want to take that?
Yeah, well, how about you? What did you add right at the end? It was some disclaimer
Oh,
information.
okay. At the end, I added, the right to withdraw or cancel, at your discretion at any time, the RFP process. And you could, reissue it and pursue other ways of procurement methods, just so you're not locked in.
You gave us our outlaws
Yeah.
and
we
put it
could-
in the paper. So, a good addition. You lawyered it up for us. We appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I had some other comments in there too.
Great. Go right ahead.
Oh, okay, so is this going through, so I had added at the top Livingston County and Livingston County Economic Development IDA, collectively Livingston County.
It's Livingston County IDA, so right under executive
Okay.
summary, Jim just brought that to me this morning.
Okay.
It is not Livingston County, it's Livingston
Okay,
County
so-
Industrial Development Agency.
So I'll need to revise that,
Yeah.
so they're not both on there.
No,
Yep, I had that on there,
Shannon doesn't want that.
okay, got it. I just tried to limit the reps and warranties on the site infrastructure and the utilities, only because this hasn't been used in a long time, but.
It's been warmly closed, so
Okay.
it's actually kind of still in pretty good functioning order.
Okay, so I'm not sure how stringent you want to be. I just put that the following features in the site infrastructure and utilities are identified based on your understanding and belief without independent investigation, because I don't know, you know.
We have, but I like your verbiage
Okay,
better.
that's a
It
good idea.
just keeps.
So
it
just to
loose.
identify them, we're not warranting or repping any of those.
Love it.
Okay. The environmental, I just wanted to be careful. Once again, I don't know how old your assessment is. I put, that you have no actual knowledge of contamination based on your existing assessment. So I just jotted that out a little bit, okay? And I just put it's an as-is sale, not an as-is warranty, and that, you know, it's in its present state and condition, you're not making any representations or warranties.
Yeah.
Just beefed it up a little bit. I added the next page on page 6 that the developer has to get any other necessary approvals required to develop the property to take the burden off you. You're giving it to them, they do everything.
I appreciate that.
Okay, and I'll send this to you with the red line. I think you have
I
it.
do, yeah, you
okay.
gave it to,
Okay.
I had sent this out already, I think by the time I got that from you, so I wanted to keep it consistent with
Yes,
what
I
they
know,
had.
yep,
Yeah.
okay.
Well,
And-
this is the same one we got.
In the agenda, right?
Yeah, so, and I can also, send this to
Yeah,
everyone as well.
great.
Okay. Page 7, I just added, what contents are required in the submission requirement. I added that, but, any proposal should have a zoning analysis, it should have, a statement that the development is consistent with applicable regional and local plans and land use, and that it will comply with SECRA.
Okay.
So that was I just added a number 4 to the submission. And then, on the last page, it was already stated in here that, you reserve the right, and I just added at your sole discretion anytime to amend or modify, and then I added the out clause underneath that Livingston, IDA reserves the right at its sole discretion to discontinue, postpone, or cancel the RFP at any stage, at any time, reissue or pursue the services through any lawful procurement method. So if you don't want to use the RFP route, you can do a different procurement method.
I didn't send you the whole packet. What is after this page is a floor plan of each of the buildings, another deed plot. A couple other things. It made it huge. The file was enormous after that, so I just took it's just standard stuff. There's nothing after that about the RFP. It's stuff about the buildings.
And I can also answer any questions if you want to email me as well about anything that I have in here. I just made it very protective.
We do have a couple of interested parties, kind of anxiously awaiting it. One, we already believe that they're going to submit a proposal. I've picked up a couple of other interested parties along the way, so at this point, my number is 4. So once we get this final blast, my email has 4 people teed up, ready to hit send. And I actually have a tour set up with one of them on Thursday. So, yeah, I think that's what you wanted out of this, so,
Yeah.
let's chase it.
Oh, you see the last page with the criteria, so that's strong.
Yeah, and that's why I put a rubric together for it, because I guess I wanted everybody to know what we're ranking it on.
That's required.
Yeah,
That's required.
Oh, is it?
Yes, you need to put a way that you're evaluating the proposals in the RFP. So you did a great job.
like the holiday in last night.
I think there's 2 more buildings on there.
Yeah, I was gonna check that for you. Jerry's calling out my number. I think I said 17 buildings, and you think there's 19.
Nice, because then if we go over to the other side, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the little duplex is 6. And I think we had a total of 25 buildings on that parcel.
Okay. I'll reach out. So that's the RFP. If you bless it with the changes that Leanna suggested, we can add those in and get this out. I do have an August 15th deadline. What do you think about? That's a month. You want to go longer? I'd love to have it before the September meeting is kind of what I was trying to do. So if we could, I don't have a calendar, but if we could do something so that we could take action in September, that would be great.
I feel like 30 days is pretty typical for like what we're involved in.
You think 30 is okay then?
Yeah,
So August 15th, keep it there,
yeah.
because it'll be out by Monday.
And we have 4 interested parties already.
And you know, we also might come on board once they see this hit the street.
How does this will be otherwise published?
Any way we can.
Did we put a sign up at the prison number we were talking about putting a sign up? If you already have, I mean, I don't know if it's, I would just,
I don't have anything else.
if you already have interested parties, I don't know that you'll need that, but like definitely getting it out there so people know we're open.
Newspaper ad was, I've got a broker that I'm kind of pushing it through as well. Who had the listing initially from one of the interested parties he was working with, so. Just as much as I can, I guess, Jim, is the best thing I can. I get the Livingston County News.
Is it on our website?
It will be. Yep. Judy's already eyeballing the spot for it.
Is there any benefit to consulting with site selection?
Could be. I'll have to list GRE for that help, but we can do that.
I mean, it's up to you.
I'm thrilled with the 4 and I'm ready to put it out. Look, anybody that wants to take it further, I'm more the merrier.
You got in your email and everything, contact the site business, so.
We'll blast it everywhere we can.
You know, if we set the 15th of August for the proposals to come back, we might move next month's meeting. Why not move it back?
Labor Day usually comes in. Labor Day weekend,
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
earlier late this year.
We should have taken that into account though when we scheduled the meeting.
August 15th is a Saturday.
Yeah, but if we get them back, they probably would, what would you say, 4:00?
Friday night.
Actually,
We're
be
on
the 14th.
Labor Day.
These theoretically can hit the street today.
With Leanne's changes, she's already got a red line, so there's most of it's already there.
And I'll fix what we talked about. It's just the IDA, not the county.
I'll send it out before I leave tonight.
So then you could put, everything needs to be in the 14th, by end of business days at 4 p.m.
So
And we could meet the next Friday.
our meeting is the 4th. Oh, the Friday following that, which would be the 21st.
And then with Labor Day, that might be through that weekend when we'd have to cancel. We wouldn't have the meeting anyways.
I'm guessing we put the meeting on the 4th.
I would think we put it on the 11th.
Okay, so we did get through that weekend.
I don't have it in front of me.
We just did this now.
We usually avoid Labor Day weekend.
Well, whether we move the meeting or not, I guess, if the 30 days is enough time for you,
I think so.
if you think that's enough time to turn it, I'll put it down for deadline submission by 4 p.m. on the 14th. Yeah, not the 15th, but, looks good by me. I think most people are ready to.
Yeah, you know what you're gonna get, like, if you're looking at this, you know what you're gonna spot. It's just the other paperwork that will take.
Not yet.
Oh,
Not yet. If you have to advertise that,
September 11th.
is that's our next one. So that's after Labor Day.
Right.
Weekend. Any substantive changes that you think should be included in the RFP? If you're good with that, then I think we're good with what we've given them.
Okay. I can, when I get back, I'll change it, add in my changes and send you a clean version.
Great.
Okay.
Super.
And we've got a clean deed to this, so you wouldn't have to do a search. There's no doubt against it, right?
No, I mean, at some point in time, they're gonna want, whoever submits a proposal, should we put something in there about title?
It wasn't really a.
Typically not in the RFP, but we could,
In terms of who's gonna provide. We have survey, right?
Yes.
I guess we can say we'll provide anything existing, the existing survey, we don't want to pay for.
I think I actually put it in the packet. That's part of what I put
Okay.
behind here. So it would be an attachment.
And like I would just do the existing survey, and then for the title, it would be probably have the back title for this. So we can,
I don't know what we have.
okay,
Okay, but from the standpoint, we could, I would suspect we want to spend a whole lot of money.
right, so we'll provide the existing policy if there is one or the existing.
We got it from the state, so it's.
Okay.
A policy.
There's no title policy. I mean,
Last owner search,
well, you have to check with first.
Yeah. Which would have been the state. And then whatever farmland it was, or was before that.
okay. Do you want me to check with them?
Why don't I introduce us so that we see what we need to do in
Okay.
terms of closing?
I definitely would limit the survey, I mean, you don't want to.
Then we could change circumstances.
It was surveyed, but
Yep.
a lot of those stakes come up in this.
Urban Anthony has a meets and bounds on it that I have. Okay. If this is good, then if the changes, we'll take it forward and,
Okay, the other thing I thought of, you could say you'll provide the existing environmental assessments.
I can give you whatever the state's given us. with
Right.
this
That's
box.
why I don't know how specific you want to be in.
Well, I think the
Okay.
big thing
We
was
don't want
tanks.
to, we don't want to,
Okay.
we don't want to gauge any costs like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah, no, we would only provide existing, I mean, this is going into the contracts.
As is, whereas.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it,
we've got proof that the tanks were extracted and that's a big issue. There might be one more issue with that water line that goes along the Kishwaukee Creek. Remember you said for the move?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's as is, though.
yeah,
it
it
is.
is where it's in no wrecks, so I think you're covered there.
Yeah, I have plans, survey, renderings on everything, construction drawings on the entire facility. On a phone drive,
Oh, okay, like the plan and say.
all of it. HVAC, site,
So that's,
construction,
yeah, they'll definitely. want that.
grading. Everything Mary Ellen would want when she bids it.
Like, maybe we just relocate there.
Genesee Construction.
Yeah.
Yeah, archaeological digs done, so you're good there.
Sounds perfect.
Yeah.
The guys still have places they can sleep overnight.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're getting from the 58 or from that.
Exactly. This, I was anxious for this.
Okay, sir. Any others, board got any other concerns or questions on this? We're ready to go.
We'll buff it up and put in the changes and get it out there.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion, proceed with this proposal.
I'll make a motion.
Second,
I'll say.
all in favor? Aye.
The motion is gonna get it. Wonderful. That's what I got for you right now.
Okay, motion to adjourn to August 7th. Second. All in favor? Okay, welcome everybody to, ready?